Good evening, Corvallis. Tonight on the Beaver News, stories about a class in Portland and an open forum for the new Student Experience Center. Those stories and more are coming up. Welcome to the Thursday night edition of the Beaver News. I'm Max Newfield.
And I'm Mackenzie Allen. From noon until 1:30 today, an open forum was held in the Trysting Tree Lounge of the Memorial Union to discuss the Student Experience Center. The construction of the SEC and a charge to fund the project of $48 per student per term was passed last year by a vote of the student body. In addition to being able to get questions answered, Opus Architecture, the firm hired to design the center, presented their most recent plans. The SEC is expected to house various organizations from both the Memorial Union and the soon-to-be-replaced Snell Hall, including ASOSU, Student Media, and Greek Life.
A new building is going to be built for OSU, but not on campus. It will be up all the way in Portland. Oregon State, along with OHSU and Portland State University, are pulling together to make a new life science building in Portland. At the moment, OSU and other universities are holding classes at the Center for Health and Healing building in Portland. According to Brittany Galiendo of the Daily Barometer, the plan is for OSU to completely move out of that building and start to host new classes in the new one by the fall of 2013. The Dean of the College of Pharmacy, Mark Zabriskie, says that the new building, quote, with the new building, quote, he will be doubling the amount of space that we have and probably quadruple the amount of research space.
Feel free to come to the OSU Battle of the Bands tomorrow, June 3rd, and the Flat Tail Festival the following day for 2 nights worth of music. 10 of the best OSU bands, like Blue Ember and Motai, will compete in the battle to be known as the best band on campus. The crowd's influence will determine the winner. Be sure to watch the performances live on KBVR and come back the following night for more amazing bands, including the Flat Tail headliner, OK Go.
This weekend, Beaver Baseball takes their first steps in the road to College World Series by hosting a regional championship. According to Grady Garrett of the Daily Barometer, in losing the final 2 games of the series against USC and then being swept in Eugene by the Ducks, last weekend the Beavers have fallen to 15th nationally after being as high as 2nd in the nation early in the season. The Beavers will face off against Arkansas Little Rock on Friday at 6 p.m. and then either Georgia or Creighton on Saturday. Junior outfielder Brian Stamps is less concerned with the naysayers than the confidence. He says in his team, saying, expectations aren't a problem because we've set them high on ourselves. For our sights are set on winning the whole thing. That hasn't changed. What we expect of ourselves hasn't changed, and expectations from the fans shouldn't change.
A few weeks ago, the MU Quad was host to tons of snow. Over 20 tons to be specific. Snow on the Quad is an amazing event that showcases extreme sports for OSU. We now go to a report on the event.
Snow was falling in the MU Quad here at Oregon State University for the annual Snow in the Quad event put on by the MUPC and Campus Rail Jam Tour crew. Setup went smoothly, and we even got to talk with Grady Skelton, the tour manager, about the event.
What does it take to put all this together? I mean, obviously we've got 25 tons of snow here, wakeboard option here this year, and I know you've been involved for a couple years, so what does it take for planning this event?
A lot of stress, and no, it's actually pretty good. It takes a lot of manpower. Get a lot of volunteers from all the schools, so like Core Free Ride here and the MUPC really hooked it up with a lot of kids to help out. A lot of planning. We plan out throughout the summer. We figure out what the whole tour is going to be like for the winter and then moving on to the spring, and then we end in Portland. So it's a lot of planning comes in on that aspect and a lot of logistics, but then you bring it all together, we get the mountain to provide the snow for us, and then we're good to go.
According to the Campus Rail Jam Tour website, this event is a grassroots snow sports movement dedicated to promoting the amateur ski and snowboard scene. This year, the event was not only for snowboarders and skiers, but but for wakeboarders too. We headed over to talk with a few of the water sport competitors about their plans for Wake in the Quad.
Tell me what you're expecting to do today. What are you going to give the crowd?
Well, I'll start out simple on the rail and just try to do a 270 out, and then gonna attempt to do a tantrum off the booter and see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure I know what all that means, but it sounds pretty cool. And for you, what are you? I mean, are you guys competing against each other?
Yeah.
We got a little competition.
We're competing a little bit, but I mean, good friends. I'll probably go off the rail too, try and do a 3 or something like that, and then ideally hit a railie or something off the booter, but we'll see how the booter feels. I haven't hit it yet, so still early.
A lot of flips off the booter with his young knees, and you probably see a lot of guys getting technical on the rail. There's Brett Little from Texas. He's a professional wake skater. He's here, and he's going to be wake skating the rails where you're not attached to the board like the wakeboarders. It's more like skateboarding on water. It's really phenomenal and really hard.
I don't think I could ever do that, ever.
There's Nick Cardoza. He's going to hit it.
Wow. Pretty big stuff over there. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate all the effort you put into this event. So, yeah, thank you.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, a panic button to help maids in New York and a new take on healthy eating. Stay tuned.
When you open a book, you can explore new lands, make new friends, and discover new adventures. There are amazing possibilities when you open your mind to reading. Explore new worlds. Read.
Metal cone! Metal cone! Let's go! Hurry! Metal cone! Metal cone! Metal cone! Metal cone! Metal cone!
Dude, why is your mom driving us to MetalCon?
Remember when I bought us all snowboards on that credit card and never paid it back? Well, I guess they check that stuff out when you apply for a car loan.
Afterwards, we'll all go out for ice cream. Don't let your credit put you in a bad place. Go to controlyourcredit.gov.
Welcome back to the Beaver News live on Channel 26. 2 luxury hotels in Manhattan will provide maids with portable emergency communication devices equipped with panic buttons in the wake of a pair of high-profile sexual assault cases in New York, according to a hotel union spokesman. The Pierre and the Sofitel hotels will hand out the devices modeled after medical alert buttons for the elderly, allowing housekeeping staff to quickly alert hotel security, said John Terciano, a spokesman for New York Hotel and Motel Trades Council. The move comes on the heels of a recent scandal involving former Egyptian bank executive Abdel Salam Omar, who was arrested on Sunday and charged with sexually abusing a housekeeper at the Pierre Hotel. Nora Walsh, a spokeswoman for the Pierre, said the hotel is investigating an apparent delay in communications with authorities.
Being called the Walmart of weed, and it is the biggest outlet that was scheduled to open today in Phoenix, Arizona. Arizona voters approved medical cannabis last fall. CNN reports that We Grow store will be the first outside California where medical weed has long been legalized. None of the chain's 3 stores sell the drug. Instead, they unabashedly promote medical marijuana by offering, quote, everything from supplies to services that cultivators need to grow it, end quote. Melissa DiGifilippo says the spokeswoman for the company stated that what sets We Grow apart from the mom and pop stores selling the growing supplies is that We Grow openly states that its hydroponic equipment is intended for pot, calling itself the nation's only hydroponics franchise that openly talks about medical marijuana. The Oakland, end quote, the Oakland, California-based We Grow sees a boom in Arizona and projects 100,000 Arizonians acquiring state medical cannabis cards, DeGalfilippo said.
For the FDA, it's out with the old and in with the new. According to CNN, the food pyramid is being replaced by MyPlate, an image that promotes healthy eating habits without specifying specific food groups the way the original pyramid did. MyPlate suggests a balanced meal with fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and a small serving of dairy. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack had this to say about the change, quote, "It's an opportunity for Americans to understand quickly how to have a balanced and nutritious meal. It's a constant reminder as you look at your own plate, whether your portion sizes are right, whether you've got enough fruits and vegetables on that plate," end quote. First Lady Michelle Obama also supported the change to MyPlate, explaining that this new graphic will help people better understand portion sizes and help reduce unhealthy eating habits.
Just days after everyone's missing from the tornado in Joplin were accounted for, another group of tornadoes has caused a tragedy in Massachusetts. According to CNN, tornadoes ripped through western Massachusetts, killing 4, injuring at least 40, and destroying anything in their path. Springfield, Massachusetts, was the hardest hit area with at least 2 tornadoes and possibly as many as 4. In a statement released by Governor Deval Patrick, as many as 19 communities reported tornado damage by Wednesday night. At least 1 person was killed in Springfield, 2 in nearby Westfield, and 1 in Brimfield, about 20 miles east. Up to 1,100 National Guard soldiers are expected in the area to assist in search and rescue. This was the first tornado to hit the state since 2008.
Former Massachusetts governor and 2008 Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney announced his bid for the upcoming presidential election today in New Hampshire. According to a senior Romney advisor via CNN, quote, "Mitt Romney will talk about the #1 issue facing the nation and the reason he is compelled to get into this race, jobs and the economy. We are in the 3rd year of Obama's presidency, and he has failed to lift the nation out of its economic downturn," end quote. In addition to Romney, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani and former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin are also holding events in New Hampshire today, both of whom are expected to announce their bids in the coming weeks. We're going to take another short break. Coming up next, Google admits to being hacked and your weather forecast for the week. Stay tuned.
I got no pulse. We're losing him.
Sergeant, he's in VFib.
Shock him.
Drives it road all the time. He just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear.
You just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. You'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shock him.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel like a fish with no water.
Learn how to prevent your child's next asthma attack. Because even one attack is one too many.
Horseradish. Is that for horses? Remember me, Mr. Lobster? From last Tuesday? Banana. 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 Here comes the rain. We need a hat. And why do we need a hat? They got. That's right.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bagging lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Corvallis, and welcome to your Thursday night edition of the Beaver News.
Tell me a little bit about the history of music a la carte.
United States, We believe that giving potential customers
or cameras is nothing.
Welcome back to the news here on Channel 26.
And welcome back to the Super News right here on KBVR. Google has released a statement acknowledging that hundreds of Gmail accounts have been hacked, including those of top United States government officials, in an attack stemming from China. According to CNN, Google believes that the accounts were hacked likely by malware installed on victims' computers that were able to obtain passwords. Spokesman for Homeland Security, Chris Ortman, said he had this to say about the attack, quote, "The Department of Homeland Security is aware of Google's message to its customers. We are working with Google and our federal partners to review the matter, offer analysis of any meticulous activity, and develop solutions to mediate further risks." In addition to American officials, the attack also targeted South Korean government officials and federal workers of several other Asian countries, Chinese political activists, military personnel, and journalists.
Nancy Garrido, the woman charged with kidnapping J.C. Duggard and holding her captive from age 11 to 29, has been sentenced to 36 years to life in prison. According to CNN, Duggard was taken from her home in South Lake Tahoe, California, in 1991 by Garrido and her husband Philip Garrido. The couple held Duggard until 2009. Philip Garrido has yet to be sentenced, but pled guilty to 1 count of kidnapping and 13 counts of sexual assault, and is facing a maximum possible sentence of 431 years to life. Philip is also accused of fathering 2 daughters with Duggard during her captivity. Both Nancy and Philip have waived their rights to appeal their sentences.
The statement that technology is being used by increasingly younger generations takes an entirely new turn when parents in White House, Texas, make a Facebook page for their unborn child. CNN reports that instead of breaking the news of pregnancy by word of mouth or phone, Ellie and Matt decided about 4 months into her pregnancy that it was time to announce this big news by making their yet-to-be-born child a Facebook page. Unborn Maria Green sent out hundreds of Facebook requests, and her mother, Ellie, says, "Everybody is on Facebook. All of our friends are on Facebook. Things fly through Facebook now." End quote. And it doesn't take long for people to accept the news. One day yielded over 100 friends, she said. At first, Ellie and Matt just posted updates about Mariah, but now Mariah speaks in first person on Facebook.
The rain has been a bit of a downer lately, so let's see if there's some good news on the horizon. Over to your weatherman.
Hey there, Corvallis. I'm Max Newfield, your Thursday weatherman, and I've got your last Thursday broadcast of the term, and it looks pretty good, huh? So we've got Friday with a high of 69 and a low of 52 and a little bit of rain. Saturday is the day you want to get out because it's going to be a high of 82 and a low of 54 with some sun. So get on those lawns and get some tanning in because it's going to be great. Sunday, unfortunately, however, it's going to be a high of 71 and a low of 53 with some rain. So rain takes its revenge. Monday, we got a high of 64 and a low of 50 with some sun. And Tuesday, some more sun with a high of 65 and a low of 50. So it looks pretty good after that. And that's it. That's the last weather forecast. Tune in next time for your weather. I'm Max Newfield, and back to you.
We're going to take one last short break, but don't go too far. When we return, refugees attempt to escape Libya, and Hosni Mubarak is on trial. Stay tuned. Yeah, was it? I couldn't really...
3 out of 4 kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
The elevator and the blood bank
Both are ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Everyone has friends. There's online friends, friends to go out with on a Saturday night, friends to hang out with and do nothing, friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
Welcome back to the Thursday News on this fine Thursday night. As things go sour in Libya, there are refugees trying to escape with their lives. And the last night, near 270 of these refugees went missing. The refugees are escaping by overpacking fishing trawlers and going to Lampedusa, which is the nearest Italian island. CNN reports that the boat last night was taking some 800 refugees, of which an official told the agency that between 200 and 270 people were missing, and that at least 2 bodies had been recovered. When the lifeboats began to show up, people would panic, pushing through each other when they ran into high waves and winds. Lampedusa has been a destination for thousands of refugees seeking liberation from Libya into the European Union.
The translation of the voice below the macabre YouTube video reads, quote, "Look at the bruises on his face along with his broken neck," end quote. The clip is a 2.5-minute gruesome catalog of wounds on Hazma Ali al-Khatib, a 13-year-old boy. Hazma was separated from his father in the chaos of the march to Dara, Syria, in an attempt to break the Syrian military siege. A month later, the family received his body, where the video was taken. CNN reports that much of the video of the child's corpse is too graphic to broadcast. CNN added that they cannot independently verify what happened to Hazma or the authenticity of the video, but it has played a role for the Syrian people. Ran Zatua, a prominent activist in Syria, stated that due to the video, people, quote, got angrier. Every single family in Syria felt. Even if they were not directly with the revolution, they felt that Hazma was their own son, end quote. The face of the 13-year-old from a village in the southern Syria is now the symbol for an uprising.
Voters in the overwhelmingly Catholic country of Malta have elected to allow divorce, the Prime Minister said. CNN reports that initial results of a weekend referendum suggest the measure will pass with some 54% of votes in support of introduction of divorce. Though counting continues, analysts predict the vote will carry, and Maltese Prime Minister Lawrence Ganzi, who opposed the measure, has conceded. Ganzi stated that, even though the result is not what I wish for, now it is our duty to see that the will of the majority is respected. The Mediterranean island nation of Malta is one of the only countries in the world that does not permit divorce. About 98% of Maltese residents are Catholic. Ganzi said the parliament is now expected to enact legislation that will make divorce legal.
Former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak and his 2 sons are expected to begin their criminal trial on August 3rd. Mubarak is being held on charges that he consented to a plan to kill protesters in Cairo's Tahrir Square on January 25th, though he continues to deny these claims. Mubarak's sons, Gama and Allah, face charges of illegal gains and corruption in relation to real estate transactions. Mubarak has been held in a hospital, Sharm el-Sheikh, since mid-April, but a judicial analyst expects the trial to move forward as planned, saying, quote, "In previous cases, suspects appeared in court with life support machines, so Mubarak's health now does not mean that he is paralyzed. If he has heart problems and doctors indicate improvement, then he can appear in court for several hours."
If you ever visit the busy streets of Cape Town and drive around, you might just run into a robot artist. CNN reports that these aspiring artists are not made of metal, but regular people like you and I. The reason they are called robot artists is because robots is South Korean slang for traffic lights, and traffic lights are a perfect spot for township entrepreneurs to hawk their works of art. Though life is not easy for these guys as they have to dodge traffic and police, it is supposedly better than what they are used to, as most of these artists are immigrants from Zimbabwe. One young artist named Alex Mukabe has this to say, quote, "I came from Zimbabwe in 2007 to get away from the political and economical problems that make life hard there." And that's it. That's all the news we have for you today and for this term. We're sorry to see you go and hope you had a wonderful time watching us.
Have a great summer.
Super News!